Hi there. I wanted to talk about something that I heard that was very, very interesting and correlated with the importance of why I observe the Sabbath. So from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, I turn off all electronics, my phone, email. I don't receive any text or emails or phone calls. And I had listened to a video recently that talks about our day and age where everything is so instantaneous. So we're living in surplus, really. You think would we be the happiest we've ever been, but actually it's the opposite because our primitive minds were not meant to take so much dopamine. So the dopamine we get is every time we have a good like, for example, we post on Facebook, so we get likes and comments and likes and comments, and we get texts and emails, and we're getting so much stimulus that it is not a natural thing for our brain. So what the brain does to compensate with all the dopamine is it gives the brain a negative to balance it. So we're in a land where we can get so many things instantaneously, instant communication, instant food, instant fun, but our primitive brain has to regulate it by going down to create the balance. So as we're inundating ourselves with this social media and internet, and it's instigating a dopamine high, our brain needs to balance it by going low. So they said in order to have a fast from this dopamine, it's important to create boredom, create quiet, create a break from all of it. And I remember, I think it was about 2 years ago when I started observing the Sabbath, how difficult it was to switch off my phone in the beginning and not receive texts and outside communication, especially at that point. I had not been married yet. So it was me in the home and it was very quiet. But in time, I began to crave a break. And now, this Sabbath, I didn't even reach for my phone. I did have my husband to talk to and interact with, so I know that is nice, but actually he was gone for most of the day. And what it does is it re-regulates your system. It brings you to peace. And I know I had observed other people that observed the Jewish Sabbath before I approached doing so, and there was an aura about them because it brings in an equilibrium. So on a scientific level, there is a lot to it. It actually confirms how I feel about having a day of rest. And it is so nice because in our day and age, we can contact each other instantly. So the demands that people place on you, if you have a particular line of work, everyone expects an instant reply and an instant solution to these demands. So this is a full day where I am unavailable. I'm unavailable for demands of other people. I'm unavailable, pardon me, to complete requests for anyone. And it's a day to recharge, to recenter. And it also makes you cognizant of time. For example, it could feel like, wow, Friday was just such a short period of time ago. And other weeks it seems like Friday was so long ago. So it really makes you cognizant of the passing of time and how it feels shorter sometimes and longer other times. And so this more of a scientific video, they weren't they weren't really talking about the Sabbath as much as they were about our brain chemistry. But what happens is that when we're so inundated with all this dopamine coming towards us because of our exposure to the internet and text and emails and social media and media responses, we become lazy. We become, we don't want to work. We want to sit in front of our computers. We want things given to us. And this could explain the downfall of our workforce. I often wonder how so many people are making a living. I mean, good for them if they're doing what they love and are passionate about, but it would explain the decline of the labor force, because hard work and manual labor and actually reading a book has become less and less common. And what I love about the Sabbath is that I will pick up a hardcover book and go through the pages like I used to and immerse myself into a novel. I will now go to the library and take out a big stack of books again and be really excited about a treasure of books to uncover. And also, what's lovely now that I'm married is that Friday nights, my husband and I will spend time together. It's much more intimate without the phone, and the Shabbat candles are burning, and sometimes we just sit and talk and watch the candles with the lights out, and I get him without the phone, because the phone is like this other person in the relationship sometimes. I'm very grateful that my husband is not so attached to his phone. He does not have social media. It's not absorbing his attention. And also, when one has children, it's so important to put the children first instead of the social media. Some people drive while texting and in their social media, risking their lives and other people's lives. I mean, it is that bad, and it is a real addiction. And also, the people who created this social media had other intentions. I mean, don't you think it's being used for propaganda? And we're allowing it because we're always in our phones. So they have us hook, line, and sinker believing their agenda, which is dangerous to us and in many ways life-threatening. And like, how easy was it, right? So a day of rest is really medicinal, really saves your soul, really creates good relationships with ourselves, with a higher power, with our loved ones, with our family. I remember I was sitting with someone and he remarked how nice it was that I was so present, because I wasn't in my phone. I could talk and listen and be there. When I'm with my friends, my phone is off in my purse. I want to be present. And as a human, I want someone to be present. Isn't that the most beautiful and important thing between a parent and child? For the parent to be present to the child. In an intimate relationship, for the husband or wife to be present for each other. That's the biggest gift you could give anybody, is your presence. Funny enough, it's called your presence. So I think as a society, we'd all benefit from taking a day of rest and turning the noise off. How are you supposed to listen to your inner voice if there's always noise around? And I've noticed that is that people seem to have lost their objectivity. Whatever the media is feeding them, whatever the frenzy that's going on, you see it in the public. They're just reacting to it. God gave us a brain, a mind, the ability to think, the ability to reason. what greater gift? So it's been on my mind quite some time, the link between the overload of dopamine in our present age. Because every time you post on Facebook and you get a like and you get a comment and you keep looking for all the likes and how many likes and responding and the messages and the text, what has it had done? It's reduced us to immature high school children where we're giving our lives online. You know, your intimate life with your husband is so private and so personal, and people are posting all kinds of things about themselves and their children and their sicknesses and what they ate and what they didn't eat. And you know, we got to stop. We've got to stop this. It's like an umbilical cord attached to us, and it's making us do stupid things. So take a day of rest. Feel how it feels to be bored again. And you'll find that you'll be interested in little things like mending a button on a sweater, reading a book, cleaning, being present for those people in your relationships. I mean, isn't it ironic that like you're present for a person on the phone, but you're not present for the person in front of you? Doesn't make sense. And you see the young kids, I saw them around a table, none of them were talking to each other. They were all in their phones. It's not making us happier. It's not making us healthier. It's making us kind of crazy. And then the people who take all these selfies. I had to go through a lot of profiles because they were applying for something that I was offering. And I couldn't believe the people in such immodest clothing who had young children. A lot of them, you know, unpartnered, because that's the way of secular society. I don't need a man. Yeah, you do. To have a healthy family and to really be fulfilled is to be a partner, you know, to be married. And these people are immodest, half-dressed, and then taking pictures of their children on top of it, saying how happy they are that they're raising this child. Really? You think it's good for a child to see their mother half-dressed and sexualizing herself? We've gone down. But at the same time, the further down we go, the more you see the other side. For example, the dresses and skirts and tops are so low and so short. But when you see a modest woman, you can really notice. And it really makes a statement. And also an interesting thing is they say husbands want respect. Well, part of being respectful as a wife is to clean the home. So when I was single, I didn't like take all the food out from the fridge and clean the shelves and wash them. But I did. You know why I did? For my husband. Because I know it would make him happy. And it's a form of showing him a deep respect, is to keep our house clean. So every day I do little things that I didn't really do when I was on my own, like lint on the dryer. I took a cloth and I cleaned it off. Because actually in the back of my mind, to see it, it does bother me. But I would discount it, you know? I would rather keep discounting it than actually clean it, which makes no sense because it actually took 2 minutes to wipe up. And now it doesn't bother me. Same with the fridge. Okay, it took a long time, you know, and I had to wipe all the containers underneath and get all the sticky stuff off. But every time I open the fridge, it's like a piece, you know, because it's not the dirt. So that's one way that I can respect my husband and our home that he works for. So I'll leave it at that, and I hope my insights get passed around a little more. I know my channel is new, and feel free to subscribe and have a healthy, happy day. Bye bye.